Hi there. Welcome to INFiLED. Welcome. Sorry, I should not be shouting. People are waking up now. Okay. Well, welcome to the show, and I think we have very exciting news for you guys to talk about. My name is Tony van Moorleghem. I'm a technology director at INFiLED, and I would like to have my partners, well, not my partners, actually my friends, introduce themselves.
So my name is Elijah.
Put it very close to your mouth.
My name is Elijah Ebo. I'm the Director of Operations at Brompton for APAC.
My name is Cesar Caceres. I work as a product lead in Brompton.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that as a starter, I think we have a very long history. I don't want to say we are getting old, because we are not. It's like a good wine. We are getting better over time. But basically, there's been a very long history. And if I look into the evolution the company has made from the early starts to where we are right now, has been pretty amazing. But I think, Elijah, you have some interesting things to share with us.
Yes, I do. So we recently celebrated our 10-year anniversary. And I'm pleased to say that even before those 10 years, we've been working with INFiLED. And this is why it's with great pleasure that I'd like to announce that INFiLED will be joining us as one of our first gold partners on our partnership scheme. And this is to recognize the close relationship that we have and that we hope to continue over the years to come.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that this is a very clear representation of how much work we have been doing together, right? It has been many years of close partnership in order to give the best product in the market to the people. So it's just a recognition of that.
And the good thing is that you mentioned also the 10 years of the company, because I remember InfoComm, now was it last year or the year before that? Last year at InfoComm, you guys were showing the first processor ever built, and it was still working. I mean, it was still operational, it still had the latest firmware, and the day after the show, you guys had to give it back.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I mean, this is what we stand for, right? We are looking to have the most reliable, the highest quality possible processors, and that's why we align, because you guys try to do something very similar with your LED panels. It has to be accurate, it has to be reliable, it has to give this best experience to these top shows. So in 2022 was the 10th anniversary of the very first M2 processor, the 001001, the
Correct.
1001. And we had to chase it around. Obviously, it was sold to a rental company that we used to work very much with, that you know very well. And that company was sold to someone else. So chasing around, we found that it was in Japan, doing shows still today, have never been for RMA. So it was great to find it that it's still alive, it's still doing shows, it's still doing rock and roll. So we took it in. Obviously, we gave one in exchange because these shows cannot stop.
But that's enough about us. You know?
Yeah.
So a processor by itself cannot show you a nice image. So it's about partnership, and it's about partnering those processors with really beautiful displays like this one.
I agree, and it's not just about having processing for traditional LEDs. It's like we should also not forget that the thing hanging on top of us is actually RGBW. Now, RGBW, people think it's an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. It's very complex because video content only consists out of RG and B. There's no such thing as a W.
Now, Cesar knows how much I care about my skin. You know, I put a lot of effort into keeping my skin looking nice, and I want people to see that. And unfortunately, when only R, G, and B are being reflected, all of my beauty doesn't always come out, and that troubles me a little. Can you explain why? Why is that?
Well, that's what my wife tells every day, but anyway.
No, I mean, clearly, when you have these red, green, and blue emitters in your LED, well, they look beautiful, and anyone in here can see that this LED looks amazing, and it gets all these colors that you will expect out of a display for direct view. the reflection in the skin, because of the properties of that light, that is only very strong, very the thin spectrum in red, green, and blue, has big gaps exactly in the places where we care the most. That is the orange tones of all our skins, right? And that's why by adding extra emitters, that is what INFiLED has done very wisely, adding extra emitters, we get a better spectrum of light and giving better results. And that's why right now, we are not using any other lighting. We are just very much with a RGBW panel array that INFiLED has put above us.
But I mean, the other thing I would like to enhance. I mean, I'm a technical nerd, so I like technology.
Proudly.
So I mean, it's all about understanding the complexity. You start from 3 emitters. You have a fourth one with no content, and you really want to exceed the color. And I think color uniformity is also extremely important for the company.
Absolutely. Do you want to talk about color a little bit? I can go ahead. Color is the most important thing. It doesn't matter how good the LED panel is, that if the color representation for the new industries that we will talk about it, how LEDs are growing in every single industry where you have displays or content being displayed. But color is really important for it to be accurate. Now, as I said, the LED in direct view, it will look great and the color is going to be accurate. But if our reflection is shifting these colors because it doesn't have the right spectrum, suddenly things are not matching together. You cannot merge these foreground and background elements. And that's why, for us, it was very, very important to have a perfect calibration of this extra emitter. It's not an easy task. I'm not saying that it's something that we did easily, but thanks to our Hydra, that is obviously INFiLED have their own, and they use it for the calibration of every panel that they have with Brompton, we were able to do it.
I think the Hydra system is something, you guys are not promoting enough. It's an amazing tool. It's so unique in the market. There's nothing else close to it.
I can see why you would say that, because the way Hydra approaches calibration is completely different to what we now call legacy calibration. Yes, we take the measurements with the same level of accuracy, but we don't set a ceiling or a threshold immediately. The whole thing is dynamic, hence the term dynamic calibration.
And the Hydra very much feels a little bit like a secret weapon, right? The fact is that not a lot of people understand why Brompton panels look, the same panel with Brompton and with a different processor look better. Obviously, you need incredibly good pixels. That's why we work with a subset of partners that we know that they're going to have really, really good output. But to make sure that we make the most out of these panels, because you guys do an incredible work trying to make them the best that you can, right? We need, as a panel manufacturer, by using this calibration, to make sure that we are getting the best out of every single pixel in every single panel.
Yeah, and that's where cooperation is so important. It's kind of like, it's not about we make the LED panels, you make the receiver card and the processor. It's about working together. It's about understanding each other. It's about understanding the market and creating new things.
When it comes to systems, each element is important, but more importantly is how each element works together. 3 or 4 or 5 beautiful components that are not properly stitched together. You'll see the evidence in that. And it's not only in terms of technical specs and compatibility, it's in terms of human relationships, when engineers can get on and when the managers have the same vision. It makes it a lot easier to come out with amazing things that we have been doing together.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of like, that's just what this world is all about. It's kind of like people talking together, understanding each other, and that's what makes things move forward. It's kind of like, and I'm so excited looking forward to what your G1 card is going to be capable of doing. I like to brainstorm, and I like to, we've been talking about crazy things not too long ago. So, the technology is moving forward, and I think Brompton is really on top of things. So we are really excited, and how can we do more things together moving forward?
Well, under this partnership program, it does allow us to work closer. We'll be sharing industry insights. We'll obviously have our two R&D teams working closer. But I have a question for you, Tony. Where are the areas where you see opportunity in the LED industry right now?
I see a lot of opportunities, but this is not the right show. I mean, we should talk about that separately. And, there's so much more which can happen. I mean, that card is so, sorry for the wording, so powerful. It can do so many things. And I think we reached a point where we haven't opened up the Pandora box yet. There's so many things which can be done. You guys are working on other amazing things as well, like we do, and we work very closely together. And so there's going to be a lot of exciting more things happening this year. It's been, this year is our 15th anniversary. You guys had your 10th anniversary last year, so we're pretty close. We're twinsies. We're pretty close. So I think people have to wait. The customers have to wait. They have to look what's going to come. The only thing we can say, and I think I can speak for you as well, exciting things are going to happen soon.
I mean, there's many, many beautiful things in this industry that are happening. The fact is that we are all in quite a nice market to work on. Video is just growing. People want faster, people want bigger, people want nicer, better colors, a finer pixel pitch.
Cheaper.
Cheaper, of course. Well, we are...
More cost-effective, I think.
Wrong word. Cost-effective.
Better value. That's what we are talking about better value. And all that is definitely happening. We are all preparing. The partnership is an amazing way for us to prepare towards what is going to be coming in 5 year times, right? One of the things, higher amount of pixels. You very much mentioned the G1. The G1 will be able to do 1 million pixels. 1 million pixels in a panel that of a 50 by 50 is a 0.3 pixel pitch. So we can already achieve this very, very high pixel pitch to have a higher pixel density for whatever application you are looking for, because that opens doors to new applications. Now you can have LED in simulators, in buildings, in all type of installations, medical, control rooms. All these things are going to be evolving. Luckily for us, people train their eyes as well, because displays are getting better, and we are very much pairing with this growth. If you want better quality, here Brompton and INFiLED are to give it to you.
So you both talked about the G1, where Brompton and INFiLED together are now showing RGBW panels. You've talked about high pixel capacity. So what else is it about the G1 that we should get excited about?
There's many things very, very exciting. Obviously, RGBW, this is marking the future on how... Because the thing is that in some new industries, like virtual production, has been massive for the last few years. You have a lot of LED everywhere. Here is not just because we are in the INFiLED booth, so they have a lot of LED. This is a very realistic representation on how a studio looks today. It's a lot of LED that is going to give you a lot of light, so you want the high quality in this light. So RGBW, definitely a massive feature of the card. Fine pixel pitch, 1000 FPS. 1000 FPS sounds a little bit like an exaggeration. Who does 1000 FPS?
Well, what are you going to do with that?
Yes.
Don't go there.
I knew you'd have an answer.
Don't go there. I mean, there's stuff we can talk about. There's stuff we can think about, and I might be looking for G2, G3 in the near future. So let's not go there.
No, absolutely, and definitely working with high quality panels. That is what these partnerships are about. And this 1000 FPS, we can send a lot of subframe information in order to get better colors, better low brightness enhancement. We can do a slow motion in camera, so you can take a 1000 FPS camera and record with LED and give a new level of creativity to all these VFX artists around the world. So many possibilities for these things. And then as well, I mean, the G1 has fiber connection because the amount of pixels that you are driving is really, really high. So you can put long runs of cable for the same string of panels. Definitely a lot happening in the future.
I mean, I really believe that the good thing is that both companies, INFiLED and Brompton, I think we all think the same. We all think alike. We like evolution. We like new things to happen. And, you know, you try to find, okay, what are the markets? I mean, I think it's more about some markets have no clue what they want. They don't know. And I think it's companies like us who have to guide the people into what the future will bring. Yesterday, I was lucky enough. I was invited to go to the dome. So the sphere.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting anything. I was expecting it to be dull. Just it's a big screen, yeah, whatever. We've seen big screens in our life, but the experience was actually pretty nice. But when I left the building, I started thinking about this could be done better. This could be different.
No, absolutely. I mean, things like the sphere. We have in the UK this show called ABBA Voyage. These are creating a new level of enhanced experiences for people. As I said, people is enjoying more and more the way they consume content, right? And that is going to happen everywhere. We're talking about new markets, not only experiences, but just going into a building or into a hotel is very expected now that you get into a high quality hotel. You will have a nice LED with some content that is going to put you in the mood. That is going to be changing depending on the time of the day. If you're in a bar, you will want this very relaxing content. While if you are just getting in, you want something a little bit brighter.
So you think it's a very real thing that LED is going to start to replacing more and more LCDs and more projection?
It just makes sense, right?
I think it will. It's just a matter of time whereby it's my ultimate vision. I'm not sure I'm going to live long enough to see it. It's digital wallpaper where you have no screen. You have a wall. And the wall is basically, so we were talking about, high resolution, but we're talking about way beyond that, where you define where you want to see your screen, where you want to have it, what kind of color do you want, how do you feel entering your house. So, and that's a longer term, but I think in the short term, I do believe that LED will, absolutely replace.
No, absolutely. I mean, and this is all about price in many cases, right? Home cinema right now is a very, very high price thing that you can do if you want it. But as we evolve, as we generate better and better devices, the prices are going to go down, and then people will expect to have home cinema at home and be able to scale it. You will not be like, oh, I have a 60-inch, now I want an 80-inch, so I take my 60-inch, throw it in the rubbish, and I buy a new one that is a little bit bigger. No, you will just add a few panels, scale it up, or just...
and the thing is, you can keep your processing.
Exactly.
It's the backdrop is the same thing. I mean, just look at the products we are showing here on the show. I mean, they are getting so light, so thin, so cool. Cool in terms of temperature,
yes.
but they are cool. Yeah. But in terms of temperature, also power consumption of an LED screen is going down massively as we move forward. So I strongly believe there is an opportunity for LED to actually become part of your house.
I think there are still plenty of developments that can be had in LED. It's by no means saturated technically, and each of those developments is going to open new markets and, create new excitement. So I think there's a lot more to come.
And this is exactly, I just wanted to mention that this is exactly what is happening, right? We would imagine with the LED that we had even 6 years ago. 6 years ago, a 3-point-something was already something really, really good. Technology is growing very, very fast. With that we had 6 years ago, virtual production would have never happened. So it is because of these advances that new things are happening, and we have amazing creators in this industry to come with a crazy idea, as Tony was referring to, before and be like, hey, wait a second, what if we put an LED panel in front of a camera? Very bad idea. With an LED processor, and then we make it work.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Sounds like fun. And then it changes the way film is done forever. For the rest of history, there has been a point in time when someone just put this workflow together. And this is the amazing thing about this.
Yeah, I agree fully on that.
I think we all agree with that. And I really am excited. I mean, I think I'm speaking in the, from an INFiLED's point of view. I'm so excited to work so closely together with you guys on R&D, on new developments, and future. I would say people come back next year and have a look at us, and you'll see what happened over the past year. I would like to thank you both to being in the panel, and let's keep working on the future.
Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you very, very much for the partnership to the whole INFiLED team, and looking forward to what is coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to what we're going to create together.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be crazy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.